Hello, hello, and welcome to Denver Today, the show where we break down your local headlines and why they matter live from KUHS Radio. Today is Wednesday, February 18th. I am your host, Luis Bustos. Feel free to reach out to us through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the fun places, and of course, give us a follow. Stay in the loop because we're going to start doing some giveaways soon. So stay focused, stay with us, okay? I know that we're kind of growing as a show, but that's what makes it fun, right here for the ride. So, before we get into everything, I just want to say hello and welcome. Let me make sure I am loud enough. Can you hear me? This might be, this might just be a good show. Why not? So, first off, before we get involved, happy Black History Month. I know that it's almost the end of the month, but I'm going to keep saying it until the end of the month because Black history is American history. You can't have one without the other. Boom. End of story. So, this episode is brought to you by Inspire Success Coaching and Consulting. A little bit more about them here in just a minute. Um, but let's just get into it. There's a lot going on in our city right now. There was a huge pileup, and I'm about to give you a little bit more information. But before we get to that, I'm going to catch you up on crime. There's some big grants that are happening for local businesses and local after-school programs for youth. So we're going to cover some of that too. And I've got this really cool. I've got a couple little stories for you if you are in the job market, if you're looking to work on your resume or learning how to monetize other certain skills. It's going to be a really good show. So let's just get into it. Let me give you this update on the windstorm, okay? So, Colorado windstorm causes fatal I-25 pileup crash, fuels Eastern Plains wildfire. A powerful windstorm across Colorado's Front Range and Eastern Plains has left 5 people dead, dozens injured, and caused major travel and fire impacts statewide. This is a very sad story, folks, but I'm going to go ahead and give you all this information. So, according to reporting from the Denver Post, a 36 vehicle pileup on northbound Interstate 25 south of Pueblo happened during a brownout. Wind blowing dirt reduced visibility to near zero. 4 people were killed at the scene, and a 5th person later died from their injuries at the hospital. Nearly 30 others were taken to the hospitals, with several suffering serious injuries. The crash forced I-25 to close in both directions and for more than 4 hours, impacting commuters and freight traffic along with the state's busiest corridors. State troopers say the cause remains under investigation. The same winds, with gusts topping 70 miles per hour in some areas, also sparked a fast-moving wildfire in Elbert County near Matheson. The fire burned thousands of acres of prairie land and forced some evacuations before crews were able to stop it in its forward progress Tuesday evening. Air travel was also disrupted, with more than 1,100 flights delayed or canceled at DIA. Utility companies reported limited power outages compared to previous wind events. Those hundreds of customers still lost electricity temporarily. Forecasters say breezy conditions are expected to continue, with elevated fire danger in parts of the Eastern Plains. Officials urge drivers to use caution and monitor weather alerts. So this was reported by the Denver Post. However, all of our publications here in Denver are talking about this. This is a huge story, and my condolences to those 5 people who have lost their lives and their families. This is truly heartbreaking, and I think the best thing you can do in something like that is just try your best to support one another. These kind of events have trickle impact on the rest of our community, you know. And if you're one of those people that were injured and ended up in the hospital, just know that we're rooting for you here at KUHS, and we'll keep you in our thoughts. So for this next story, is actually an RTD story, so let me tell you. So, pedestrian hit, killed by an RTD train in northeast Denver. A pedestrian has died after being struck by a regional transportation district train in northeast Denver. According to reporting from KDVR, Fox 31, Denver police say the crash happened Monday morning near Smith Road and Dahlia Street in the northeast Park Hill neighborhood, just before 10 a.m. Officers have not released details on how the incident occurred, and an investigation is ongoing. RTD officials say there were 24 passengers on board the northbound A line. It was a train headed towards Denver. It was headed towards the DIA, so International Airport. No injuries were reported amongst riders. The incident temporarily closed roadways in the area, which have since reopened. However, train services in the A line was disrupted, with shuttle buses replacing trains between Union Station and Central Park, including stops at 38th and Blake and 40th in Colorado. Police are reminding pedestrians to use designated crossing near rail lines. Please stay safe, folks out there. I'm not sure, I can't really comment on this story because there's not much information, but please just stay safe when you're crossing those rail lines. So this next one, is a very big one. This has actually gotten us some national attention. So let's talk Palantir. Palantir is Colorado's largest public company. It's moving headquarters from Denver to Miami. So Colorado's largest publicly traded company is leaving Denver. Data analytics firm Palantir Technologies announced on social media that it has relocated its headquarters to Miami, Florida, without providing details on how many Colorado employees could be affected or what operations, if any, will remain in the state. The move comes after years of local controversy and protest. The company has faced demonstrations in Denver over its work with the Israeli military and its contracts with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, including the use of artificial intelligence to identify deportation targets. Some Denver City Council members and advocacy groups previously called for the city to cut ties with the company. Palantir first moved its headquarters from California to Denver in 2020, citing a more pragmatic business environment. The company employs more than 4,000 people worldwide, but it's unclear how many were based in Colorado. This was reported initially by the Denver Post, but however, this is a story that the entire city is covering. This is a big deal, folks. This is a big company that's leaving Denver, and regardless of what they do, they still have impact within our communities and people's livelihoods. So this is an important conversation to discuss, especially for the bigger picture, right? In the sense of, you could say like not all money is good money, right? And it's just a bummer that for a lot of people in this community, standing for those values you believe in does have real consequences, financial in that sense. And just know that we're supporting you. If there's any employees of Palantir in Denver, I'm not sure how the NDA situation worked, if there was one, XYZ, but if you want to come onto our show and talk to us about how the company, how it affected you, I think I've been laid off before, and it can be traumatic, and I think it's really important for me that people in our community and city are respected and treated with autonomy and respect, because who else is making these companies money? They don't make money without the workers, right? So anyway, we'll be following this story. This is going to be a developing story, I can tell. So back to crime for just one more quick story. So one dead after shooting on West Maple Avenue in Denver. So this happened this past weekend, but the story is still kind of developing. So let me give you an update. So one man is dead after another person is injured after an early morning shooting in Denver. Police say the call came in at around 5:15 a.m. Saturday on the 1500th block of West Maple Avenue. The adult male victim was pronounced dead at the scene. A second adult was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg. Authorities say the extent of that person's injuries is unknown and their gender has not been released. As of late Saturday morning, Denver police said no one was in custody. Investigators continue to gather information about what led up to the shooting. Reporters at the scene say the family member of the victims indicated there had been a party at the location. A neighbor told Fox 31 that the incident was concerning, but said the area does not usually see problems and that police responded quickly. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward as the investigation continues, and residents of the area may see increased police presence while detectives work on the case. So this is kind of a heads up to the people in the area. Keep your doors locked. We don't know what's going on here, and just better safe than sorry. Not to fearmonger. So this is next story here is like a weather story. So let's kind of get into it. So Colorado sets the record for the warmest winter days as state braces for blizzard and extreme fire condition. This is a very Colorado story because half of the state is buried under snow and the other half is afraid of fire warnings. So let me kind of break it down for you on the state level of what it looks like. So Colorado is seeing two very different weather stories at the same time. The state just set a record for the most 60-degree days ever recorded in a single winter season. But forecasters are also warning of blizzard conditions in the mountain and extreme fire danger zone on the eastern plains. Fire officials east of Denver say record low humidity, dry grass, and strong winds could create rapidly spreading fires this week. New housing development in those areas mean more homes could be at risk of fire starts. At the same time, mountain communities along the I-70 corridor are hoping the incoming storm brings much needed snow. Local ski-related businesses say this has been one of the slowest winter seasons they can remember, with many Front Range residents skipping ski trips altogether due to lack of snow. Forecasters say Tuesday will bring a sharp divide of blizzard warnings in the high country and dangerous wind conditions on the plains. Colorado residents could face very different risks depending on location, from travel delays and road closures in the mountains to heightened wildfire danger and the safety concerns on the plains. Officials are urging people to avoid any activity that could spark a fire during high winds. Folks, just be responsible. If you're going to smoke cigarettes, be responsible. Have a little, you know what you're doing. So, Douglas County Health Department is seeking community input on vaping and tobacco use. The Douglas County Health Department is asking residents to take part in a new community survey focused on nicotine, vaping, and tobacco use. Officials say the survey is designed to better understand what community members know, think, and experience related to these products, whether they have used them or have been impacted in other ways. The online questionnaire includes about 15 questions that take 3 to 4 minutes to complete. The survey is open to all ages and is available in multiple languages, including English, Spanish, Russian, Vietnamese, Chinese, German. Participants can also choose to receive follow-up resources and educational information by mail. The responses will be accepted through March 31st. For Douglas County listeners, health officials say the feedback will help guide future local health programs, education efforts, and preventative initiatives. Isn't it so funny that we had this giant war on cigarettes and now we're doing the same thing with vapes? Well, what can we do? So, um, as going back to city resources, so this is actually for Elbert County. It's a little bit out there, but it's still part of Colorado, so we want to be sure we're informing everyone on what's going on over there. So a WIC clinic is now opening monthly at Elizabeth Library. Families in Elbert County now have a new location to access WIC services, with the clinic opening at the Elizabeth Library starting this month. Beginning February 11th and continuing the second Wednesday of each month, in-person services for the Women, Infants, and Children program will be available from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Elizabeth Library on West Beverly Street. Appointments are recommended, but walk-ins are welcome. The program provides support to pregnant women, breastfeeding mothers, infants, and children under 5 years old, including access to nutritious foods, breastfeeding support, and nutrition education at no cost to eligible families. Officials say working families, foster parents, and single parents may qualify for assistance. Reach out. This is a wonderful program. The WIC program is one of the best in our state because it protects the most vulnerable, you know. And I think with what's happening right now, everyone's freaking out about the birth rate. There's just so much going on. The most effective thing we can do right now is support young mothers, support young families. I don't have to have kids to recognize that there's value in that. It takes a village, right? So, Douglas County launches Douglas Has a Heart fundraising campaign to address homelessness. This story came out I want to say right before Valentine's Day, but we didn't have a show last week, but we'll get right back. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the next segment. So, but this is a really cool story, so let me pass it on to you. Douglas County is inviting residents to turn Valentine's Day spirit into community action through a month-long fundraising campaign aimed at addressing homelessness. The campaign, called Douglas Has Heart, supports the country's homeless engagement assistance and resource team, also known as HEART. Donations made through the campaign will help fund outreach efforts, resource connections, and long-term housing support for individuals and families experiencing homelessness. Officials note that contributions are not tax deductible. HEART is a co-responder program that pairs trained navigators with local law enforcement to provide direct support, mental health resources, and case management services. County leaders say the goal is to build trust, address immediate needs, and help people find stable housing. The fundraising effort runs through March 12th. For Douglas County and South Metro Denver listeners, the campaign offers a way for community members to support local outreach programs and services aimed at reducing homelessness in the region. So, and this is directly from Douglas County. And let's just talk about this story for a second. I think this is a really, I guess, how do I say this? Homelessness is a lot closer than it can be perceived. And I'll tell you a quick little story. So when I moved to Denver at 18, I had this boss. I worked at a hotel. She was really cool, you know, and she taught me the ropes. I was just this young country bumpkin that moved to Denver where I didn't know anything about anything. I was getting scammed left and right. But she kind of showed me the ropes. She showed me like how it works to live in a city. You know, it's very cutthroat. Everyone's fighting for their dollars at the end of the day. And I learned a lot from her. And I don't want to give all her information or all her business on the radio, but due to circumstances outside of her control, you know, she ended up homeless, and I did what I could to support her. You know, I was a young kid too. I think I put her in a hotel room like 2 days, but I mean, I didn't have a lot of money. You know, that went on a credit card, and it is very difficult to come back from that place once you're there. And contributing even $1 to this campaign can impact somebody's life and bring them back to where they can become a member of our society and contribute in a way that feels empowering and fulfilling to them, because nobody wants to be homeless, you know. And I know that there's this big conversation about, oh well, a lot of homeless people do drugs, a lot of, you know, XYZ. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was sleeping on the street and it's as cold as it is now, I would be looking for anything to help me get through the night. I think empathy is more powerful than anything else, any kind of stigma surrounded by homelessness, right? So we just have to have it and support one another. But with that being said, we're going to take a little quick 1-minute break. Our show's just flying by today, but I'm really excited for the next segment, so just hang tight.
Around the city. Let's explain why they matter and connect the dots so you don't just hear the news, you understand it. Denver Today, Wednesdays and Fridays at noon. Hosted by Luis Bustos. Your city, your stories. On KUHSdenver.com.
Denver moves fast. Don't get left behind. Denver Today brings you the top headlines from around the city and explains why they matter. Hosted by Luis Bustos, Wednesday and Friday at noon. Real news, real Denver on KUHSdenver.com.
All right, folks, and we're back. That was our quick little 1-minute break. We do have an ad that is coming out soon for Aspire Success in Coaching. It's going to be cool. It's really exciting. I'm really excited to be working with this company. The owner is incredible. But with that being said, hello and welcome back to Denver Today, the show where I keep you in the loop for all things Denver and beyond. We've got a couple more news stories, but this segment's going to be a little interesting because we're going to be talking about resources and stuff that you can do to better yourself, and it's right here in Denver. We're already funding it, so go take advantage of these programs. Anyway, first story. RTD announces transit assistance grant awards for 170 area organizers. The Regional Transportation District is awarding $1 million in transit assistance grants to 170 nonprofits and community organizers across the Denver metro area. The program provides no-cost 10-ride ticket books to groups that help people with urgent transportation needs. This is the third year RTD has offered the grants, which support organizations serving low-income residents, unhoused individuals, seniors, veterans, students, and people with disabilities, along with other underrepresented communities. Each organization receives between $400,000 and $45,000 worth of fare tickets, which must be distributed to clients at no cost. RTD says last year the program helped more than 76,000 people get to job interviews, medical appointments, food resources, and education programs. Demand continues to grow, with the agency approving about 94% of applicants for 2026. This story is from RTD directly. You can look into this if you are a person that needs support like this. And going back to what we were talking about before the break, sometimes all a person needs is a little bit of help. You never know what 10 train rides could do for somebody's life, right? To get to job interviews, get them to the grocery store, X, Y, Z. But that's just a wonderful story. Shout out to RTD for the great work they do in our community. So these next two stories kind of go in tandem with each other, so let me tell you. The Denver Workforce Development hosts free virtual job search workshops. Job seekers in Denver will have 2 free online opportunities to sharpen their skills later this month. On Tuesday, February 25th, Denver Workforce Development is hosting back-to-back virtual sessions focused on interview preparation and resume building. The first webinar, Interview Tips and Tricks, runs from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and will cover how to answer common interview questions, present yourself professionally, and follow up after an interview. The session also includes a live question and answer segment with the host. Later that day, from noon to 12:30, a second session called Resume Tips and Tricks will focus on resume strategies and current job search trends designed to help applicants stand out to employers. Both sessions are free, virtual, and designed to give local job seekers practice tools they can use immediately when applying to work or preparing for interviews. DCM Skills Lab offers free monthly media production. Okay, so let me talk about that story for a second. So this is a really cool program if you feel kind of overwhelmed, and I was thinking about Palantir, the Palantir employees, when I was making this. Sometimes you need like somebody from the outside looking in to give you a little feedback, especially when it comes to how you present yourself for work, right? I think we forget a lot of the time that we are not the first person that sees our resume isn't the boss, it's HR. So I think having that kind of perspective could be very beneficial. And if you can't get there, reach out to RTD. There is support, or it's virtual. So this next one, we're a little late to the game. I'm sorry, but this does happen every month, so I just want to give you the information on it. So DCM Skills Lab offers monthly media production workshops in Denver. So Denver area creators have a new opportunity to build media skills at no cost. Denver Community is hosting DCM Skills Lab, a free monthly workshop series focused on digital media production and creative career development. The hands-on session covers topics like video editing, sound design, mobile journalism, content strategy, media ethics, and portfolio building. An upcoming workshop will focus on turning creative skills into a career, including personal branding, networking, and freelancing in the media industry. The event will feature a creative producer from Rocky Mountain PBS and is open to filmmakers, podcasters, editors, and other content creators looking to grow professionally. Workshops are held at Denver Community Media on Arapahoe Street with a hybrid option available on YouTube. RSVPs are required through Eventbrite. So this event happened today. It started at noon, it goes till about 1, but it does run monthly. So keep an eye on this, especially if you're like a person that's trying to grow within the media space. This is such a great deal. This is a great opportunity. I'm telling you, this is a person that went to Metro, MSU Denver, for my journalism degree. That was Metro's not cheap. Okay, I took a resume building class, and I think it was one credit, and it was like $450. Like, so go get some advice from these professionals. Why not? It's free. So this next story is kind of something that I want to keep on your radar because I think this is a really cool little story for the families, because who doesn't love firefighters? So, Aurora Fire Rescue reopened Station 9, a new two-story facility. Aurora Fire Rescue has reopened Fire Station 9 after nearly a year of demolition and reconstruction, bringing a two-story firehouse back into service in Ward 3. The station, located at East Mexico Avenue, replaces the original building that was first constructed in 1979 and torn down last year due to structural issues and limited space. City officials say shifting soil and aging infrastructure made renovation impractical, leading to the decision to build a new facility. The new 12,000 square foot station includes 11 dorm rooms, multiple bathrooms, a fitness area, offices, and a 3-bay apparatus garage designed for future expansion. The $9.3 million project was funded primarily through Federal Americans Rescue Plan Act dollars. During construction, Engine 9 operated out of nearby station has now returned to the new site. A public ribbon cutting grand opening is scheduled for March 7th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with tours and opportunities to meet firefighters. This is really cool. I'm actually considering going this day to get some video for us of the opening day. Firefighters are, I don't know how to say this if you're not from Colorado. There are front line here in the state. We were talking about it earlier this episode. Colorado catches fire a lot, and the fires can spread fast. And I've seen some of the work that the firefighters do, and it's incredible. And I've never been one of those journalists that's out there with them, but I've had colleagues that'll go out there, and it is incredibly horrifying work, and they are so brave, and I just think it's super cool. Because I don't know. But with that being said, if you have like a little kid, I know that I would have been one of those little kids that would have been screaming to go look at the fire station. That's so cool. So let's move on to like a little bit of a lighter story. So the Denver Restaurant Week is coming up, and the Denver Post made a really cool article, basically explaining. I'm kind of giving you the brief rundown because we're gonna run out of time. But Denver diners soon have a chance to score discounted multi-course meals at Denver restaurants during the 6th through the 15th of March. According to the Denver Post, nearly 300 restaurants across the metro area will offer special dinner menus ranging from $25 to $55 per person. So what the Denver Post did is that they went through and they found all the best deals. And I'm going to give them to you the restaurant name. And basically it starts at 25, it ends at 55. We'll start from the most affordable to the, the fancy one. So let's start with the first one. Ready? We're going to rapid fire these, okay? I'm going to give you the name of the restaurant and the city it's in. Use Noodle Shop in Lone Tree. That one's the $25 starting tier. Tacos Tequila Whiskey, West Denver. Champagne Tiger, Capitol Hill. The Hampton Social, Lower Highlands. The Melting Pot, Littleton. That's a great restaurant, by the way. If you've never been there, it is wonderful. It's a little pricey, but it's good. This is a good time to go. The Ship Tavern, Brown Palace Hotel and Spa in downtown Denver. The Fort in Morrison. Johnny Becamal's in Denver. Kumoya in the Highlands. Molotov Kitchen plus cocktails, East Colfax Avenue. So that, like I said, that's from least expensive to most expensive, but all the food is going to be good regardless. We're in Denver, baby. We love food here. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the show with a few minutes of a little bit of grant information for you and anyone that you might think benefits from this, right? So Lakewood to open applications for 2026 youth program grants. Nonprofit organizations that serve youth in Lakewood will soon be able to apply for city grant funding to support children's programs and activities. The City of Lakewood says applications for its 2026 youth program grant open March 1st and close April 1st at 5 p.m. Eligible nonprofits can apply for up to $50,000 to launch new programs and expand existing services for local kids. A total of $350,000 will be awarded next year, with funding coming from proceedings related to the sale of the Denver Broncos. City officials say proposals will be evaluated based on community benefit, nonprofit status, and access to scholarships, with additional considerations for organizations serving underserved populations. After a review by a selection committee, final approval by grant recipients will come from Lakewood City Council. For West Metro Denver listeners, the program could help bring more after-school sports, arts, and enrichment opportunities to local children and teens. This is directly from the City of Lakewood. This is a really cool story, folks. If you are a parent or if you work at a nonprofit, go connect with this program. It's incredible. On the topic of Lakewood, we have one more. Lakewood's just giving money to everyone. Oh my gosh. Lakewood expands business safety grant program citywide. The city of Lakewood is expanding its business safety and security grant program, now making funding available to businesses across the entire city. Through the program, local businesses can apply for grants ranging from $2,500 to $5,000 to pay for security upgrades. Eligible improvements include exterior lighting, security cameras, alarm systems, stronger doors and windows, and other measurements that can help prevent crime and improve police response. City officials say no matching funds are required from business owners, and awards will be based on how ready the project is and its potential impact on public safety. To qualify, businesses must have a valid license, be located in a commercially zoned area, and enroll in the Lakewood Police Department's Business Watch program. Applications are being accepted through March 31st or until funding is out. All approved projects must be completed by the end of the year. This is a really cool program, folks, specifically because it focuses on safety. I think as my parents are business owners, and running a business is really expensive. And sometimes at the end of the day, there's not always money left over for to be, as safe as you want, to have as many locks as you want, X, Y, Z. So this program is wonderful to be able to know that your PD department has got your back. And it's a really nice story, I guess, to conclude our show with. But with that being said, that was our last story. I just kind of wanted to check in and say hello. Thank you for tuning back in. This episode actually goes out to Nicole, who was asking about the show. I know we weren't here last week. I gotta be honest with you, we're growing as a station. It's growing pains, but we should be here from now on because I want to hit my 50th show. One of my colleagues on this here at the station is about to hit her 50th show. Go stream Éxitos Sin Fronteras, by the way. Go listen to it. It's live Tuesdays at 11 every week, and it's just really exciting. But I'm coming too. I want my 50th show special too. So hang in there, folks. Thank you for your patience because this has been an interesting few months. I think if you've been here since like episode 1, I think there's like 3 people that I know that have been here since episode 1. Thank you for hanging out and thank you for joining us and growing with us and experiencing all the fun stuff that Denver has to offer. I guess at this point I'm just rambling, but I do want to say I appreciate everyone who's listening and shout out to Nicole. But with that being said, I'm going to bring us back to a little more music.